it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Winds. So, we have this option here where it says, I want to be helpful, or I'm scared to leave you. And we are scared to leave him, obviously. Being separated from the Shinsengumi is a lot scarier than being dragged into a war. All I think about is if everyone is okay, if they were safe or worse. If war breaks out, then I'm sure you guys will be in need of any help you can get. Although I may not look like much, I too can treat the wounded. Yamazaki fell silent and I continued. Besides, if you're going off to fight, Yamazaki, then even more reason for me to stay. I made a vow with you in the past that I'd watch over everyone when you're away. Yamazaki dropped his shoulders as he sighed, responding like he'd given up fighting.
雪村くんの気持ちはよくわかる。俺も仲間が傷つくのは嫌いだ。だから、危険な仕事は自ら進んで担うようにしているんだが。
Yamazaki. His smirk gleamed in his eyes, and my heart squeezed.
また同じことを頼んでしまうが。俺が留守の間は、みんなを頼む。
Okay. I smiled in response, and he shared with me a small grin as well. Suddenly, Yamazaki closed the distance between us, holding me closer. Oh. He unraveled the cloth around his mouth, and his eyes wrapped me in a warmth by looking at me.
君は強い。
Huh? Yamazaki took my hand and muttered quietly.
こうまで新選組や大使のことを思ってくれる人は決して多くない。互いを本心から案じるのは、多くの死地を共に乗り越えながら、背中を預け合ったものだけだろう。だというのに、今の君には、彼らと同じ思いを感じる。
Those feelings? Oh my. Yamazaki made perfect sense. I could only wonder, though, if I deserved to be worried about. I mean, is it okay for you to give me the honor of what you suggest?
そんなに謙遜しないでくれ。少なくとも俺は同じだと思った。
Yamazaki's words filled my chest with warmth, like fresh tea being poured gently into a cup.
今の雪村くんになら安心して傷ついた仲間を任せられる。だが、君も俺にとっては大切な仲間なんだ。
いや。
くれぐれも無理はしないでくれ。いつも自分の身を案じるように。
How could he say that to me? He's the one in danger the most. The thought didn't settle easily in my mind. But still, the fact that he trusted me so heavily gave me an intense feeling of pride. Okay, understood. I nodded. Yamazaki nodded back in response, and he slowly loosened his grip on my hand.
俺はこれから土方副長に市中偵察の報告をしてくる。雪村くんの話題になっても、その処遇について余計な発言はしないようにしようと思う。
Thank you so much, Yamazaki.
俺の方こそ感謝している。君は俺に安心をくれたんだ。
He smiled timidly to me as he expressed his gratitude. If I had given Yamazaki peace, then what he'd given me was meaning. He inspired me to believe that there was something that I could do for the Shinsengumi, that I could be helpful to them, and it made me realize there's no way that I can let him down. Upon discovering that he accepted me for who I was, it made me confident, an unfamiliar feeling. No matter how uncertain the future could be for me, I was no longer scared to see what's next. We welcomed the new year without the presence of Kondo or Okita by our side. An eerie, blood-red sun set over the Kyoto horizon. It was dusk on January 3rd, 1868. The only thing strong enough to cut through the icy chill of winter was the distant pang of gunfire in the direction of Toba. I wasn't sure if it was the shogunate army or the Satsuma Chosu that had shot first. But this first gunshot was the final straw. Before we'd known it, the shogunate army and the Satsuma Chosu were at war. At long last, Kyoto had been made a battlefield, just as Yamazaki had predicted. Of course, the Fushimi magistrate base of the Shinsengumi was not safe from the threat of battle. Around 800 riflemen had gathered from the Satsuma Chosu camps and surrounded the magistrate. They were armed with advanced weaponry, which made the task all the more difficult for the Shinsengumi to deal with. Lay him down along the wall. Wrap where he's bleeding and apply pressure. Are you all right, Harada? Your arm is bleeding. Yeah, okay. Okay, be safe. The fiery roar of the cannonballs made me shake as I cowered on the floor, listening above. Only a day had passed since the fighting started. I barely had any time to prepare, and I was tending to the injured in the triage we'd set up in the magistrate's common room. Your bleeding will stop soon. In the meanwhile, please get some rest. You can't. You need to rest until these wounds heal. Even though I'd performed the bare minimum on them, the men returned to the battlefield. They should be in bed recovering. But they found the resolve to drag their bruised, dragged bodies back to the battlefield out of dedication to their comrades. However, it seemed as though as I rushed them through their treatment, they would quickly go into the battlefield, then back into our triage. It was becoming a dangerous cycle. I don't want any more people to get hurt. The conflict was building more and more in my heart, but I couldn't stop treating them. How was everyone doing? Hijikata, Saito, Nagakura, Harada, Inoue, and Shimada. And Yamazaki. Everyone, please be safe. Almost like an answer from the divine. The minute I'd seen Yamazaki walk in, I shouted, "Yamazaki! Oh, you're safe!"
Ah, 雪村君か。君も無事のようで何よりだ。ひょっとしてここでずっと怪我人の治療に当たっていたのか。
Yes, the wounded have been carried in here almost non-stop since this morning. How is it out there? Is everyone safe?
状況はかなり厳しい。長倉さんや島田君が決死隊を組んで敵に切り込みはしたが、先ほど敵の集中砲火にさらされて撤退した。斉藤さんや原田さんも同様だ。
No, even the captains were. A thick silence slunk between us, and behind us was the repeating boom of cannon fire. In this moment, there were so many of our men who were suffering the constant fear of danger. Warriors who'd spent their time and dedication with us are in pain. I could be speaking with someone in one moment, and then the next they could be mortally injured. Thinking that, I felt greatly compelled to grab Yamazaki tightly by the hand and stop him from leaving.
雪村君?
I'm a little scared. When the thought of you being the next person to become hurt comes to mind.
無用な心配だ。俺の役目は後方から各所の戦況を確認し、副長へ逐一報告することだからな。だから、怪我などしようがない。
Yamazaki? I could hear a hint of self-deprecation in his words, and I furrowed my brow as I looked at him. Yamazaki then snapped to look in the distance as the thunderous cannons rang above us.
心配してくれる君には申し訳ないが、 俺は戦場に向かう者たちが羨ましいとさえ思っている。
And why is that?
戦うことを。
Yamazaki gripped his knuckles as if he were about to break them. He bit the corner of his lip before breaking into a pained confession.
君も知っての通り、俺は諜報を旨とする新選組の監察方だ。だからこの戦においても、副長には情報の収集と一刻も早い伝達を命じられている。そう。たとえ味方が基地に陥っていたとしても、可能な限り伝達を優先するようにという命令をだ。
I could understand what he meant. During times of war, information was crucial. As in, gathering resources to strategize well. Knowing where reinforcements were needed. A late report could be the difference between victory and defeat almost every time. But feeling helpless as his comrades potentially lost their lives must have weighed heavily on him.
俺はこの戦いの最中、戦う仲間たちをずっと見続けてきた。だが、参戦は許されない。どんなに味方が傷つき苦戦していようと、俺だけが。
Yamazaki, who normally remained composed, struggled to keep his hands steady from anger. I couldn't watch him this way. You are fighting, Yamazaki. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Let's sympathize. We understand. So all we are is stuck here. I know what you mean.
君が?
Yes, I feel the same way. I also have no way of fighting, even if I wanted to. Yamazaki turned his head dubiously, and I smiled. I placed my hand over where my heart was. At the Ikeda, Hamaguri, and Abura no Koji, during all of those important battles, I always had someone else protecting me. Even now, I'm no good at fighting, so I'm stuck here. Even so, I wanted to do my part for the Shinsengumi in any way that I could. That's why I've been treating the wounded. I may not be any good at swinging a sword, but I'm fighting this war in my own way. For a second, Yamazaki gazed at me with tender eyes. Eventually, he curled his lips and he smiled brightly.
すまなかった、雪村君。刀を振るわない者は戦っていないなど。
No, not at all. I didn't mean to say something out of line. Besides, there's nothing to apologize for.
いや、謝らせてくれ。自分たちの戦いか。ありがとう、雪村君。俺も戦場に戻るとするよ。自分の役目を果たすために。
Alright, good luck. I saw Yamazaki off, giving a slow, long sigh after watching him leave. It really was a rare sight to see Yamazaki express his feelings like that. Yamazaki had always been so level-headed. I hadn't known that there was that side to him. He was becoming more familiar to me, and with that, I returned to tending to the wounded. January 5th, 1867. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.